Hey guys, so I'm going to review the Covergirl new Outlast Stay Fabulous foundation. Now this is a 3-in-1 foundation. It says all day flawless coverage, lasting power of a primer, coverage of a concealer, and blendability of a foundation in one, and it's shine free. So I initially picked up this one here. This is number 810 and it's classic ivory. Sorry, I got a little itch on my nose. So it's classic ivory and I picked this one up at Ulta. I think was it right before Christmas or right after Christmas? I think it was right after Christmas maybe. This was $12.99 and then like a week and a half after using it, I thought, well, it's not quite an exact match to my skin tone. I felt like it was just slightly too dark, just slightly. So I was like, well, I'll just pick up the lighter shade. So this is the lightest shade, number 805. And then 810 was the second to the lightest shade. So I picked this one up at Target. So this foundation is 1 fluid ounce, as most foundations are, and it comes with a pump, which I feel is really nice, especially in the drugstore. You don't find a whole lot of pumps on foundations in the drugstore, but I feel like it's becoming a little more common now. So it's really nice that it has a pump. I love that. You can control how much foundation you want to pump out of the bottle. It's a glass bottle, just so you know. And it's also more sanitary. So I've been using the foundation for about probably a little over 2 weeks now. I've been using it every single day so I could do this review for you guys. And I actually really love this foundation. I feel like it definitely lives up to the claims that are on the bottle. I feel like it is like an all-day flawless coverage. It has really long lasting power, like it says, of a primer. And I think it does have the coverage of a concealer. So I watched a video from Shades of Cakey. She did like a first impressions video of this, and she said it was a really light coverage, which I kind of disagree with. I don't know if it was the brush she used, maybe the difference in brushes. I use my buffing brush from Real Techniques, and I think she used her Sigma like flat top kabuki or something. I don't know if the difference in brush made the coverage different, but I feel like it's more a medium to full coverage. Not really sure why the difference in opinion there. I've been using it again like a little over 2 weeks now, so I definitely feel like it's a medium to full coverage foundation. It's more medium, but it's definitely buildable. Now the only downfall I will say about it is that it does look cakey if you put too much on. So when I first got it, the first day I used it, and I definitely put too much on and it did look cakey. I definitely wouldn't recommend putting 2 layers. 1 layer is definitely enough. Now if you're gonna put 1 layer, just put more than a very thin layer. So you would get really good coverage if you do that. Now I put about 1 full pump on. Now that I'm mixing the 2 colors together, because I feel like 810 is slightly too dark and 805 is too light, I mix the 2 together. So I do about a half a pump of each of these. And I like to start like under my eyes because it's supposed to be the coverage of a concealer. So I start under my eyes and blend down, and then I do my forehead. And I do have a demonstration to show you guys, so just stay tuned for that. I'll show you the before and after, and then I'm going to come back within a few hours to let you guys see how it looks. So I have it on now. Definitely look flawless. The blendability is really good. I feel like it's kind of similar to Revlon Color Stay coverage wise, but the blendability is much better than the Revlon Color Stay. The Revlon Color Stay, you have to work really quickly because it does start to dry out and it then becomes really hard to blend. So I really truly feel like this is so much easier to blend onto your face. And as far as smell goes, let me just pump some on the back. It just smells like foundation. Doesn't really have a scent to it, so which is nice. Like the Revlon Color Stay, it smells like paint. Like it smells terrible. I don't know what they put in that stuff, but it smells terrible. So definitely no fragrance. Blends really nicely. Coverage is amazing. It lasts all day. I work like 12 to 13 hour shifts, and that's not even including the time that I put the foundation on and by the time I get home. So I probably wear it like 14 hours or 15 hours. So I feel like by the end of my workday, I definitely am pretty shine free. I mean, I do have maybe a slight bit of shine like around my nose and maybe slightly on my nose. I definitely don't look super oily, and I have oily skin, so I feel like the coverage and the lasting power of the foundation is phenomenal, especially for a drugstore foundation. I think this is a really good foundation for those who have oily to combination oily skin. But it's definitely not going to work for everybody. It depends on your taste in foundations and your skin. But like I said, I think it's going to be good for oily skin, not necessarily more for dry skin. I just don't know that it would look too good if you have really dry skin unless you use a really thin layer of it. Now, me personally, I don't really need to use concealer with this, so I do think it has the coverage of a concealer. I know Casey didn't agree with that portion of the claim. I don't really need a whole lot of concealer, like especially under my eyes, because I don't have dark circles, so I don't really need that coverage. But I don't know, if you have dark circles, you may need still to use concealer. So I personally don't. I think the coverage is good for me. I think it's going to be one of my new Holy Grail drugstore foundations for sure. Oh, and as far as finish, it does have a matte finish. It does not have any dewiness, no shininess to it at all. It's completely matte. I love that. I love matte foundations, especially if you have oily skin. Matte foundations are great for oily skin. So let me just zoom in a little so you can see what it looks like. As you can see, it's very flawless. Matte finish. It just looks really good, I feel. You can kind of see my acne scars, but you can see my acne scars regardless of what foundation I'm using. Even if it's a really full coverage foundation, I do not like to use a lot of foundation in this section because I do have peach fuzz and it kind of accentuates my peach fuzz. And my husband did notice that when I first used this. Like I told you, I used way too much the first time and it did look a little cakey, and it also accentuated my peach fuzz. So this is just not an area I like to put a whole lot of foundation on. So that's why I like to start here and kind of blend my way down so I don't use as much down in this area. Majority of it's kind of in my T-zone. So yeah, it looks nice, flawless, matte. Love it. Good coverage, covers up my redness, my discoloration, so you'll see that in the demonstration. I honestly really love this foundation, especially for drugstore. It's awesome for a drugstore foundation. I love that it has the pump, the coverage is awesome, the lasting power is awesome, the blendability is awesome. It keeps me shine free throughout the long work days that I have. And I feel like I don't really need to set it with a powder, so when I do the demonstration, I'll show you the before and after, and I'm not gonna set it with a powder so you can truly see the lasting power. So yeah, just keep watching if you guys wanna see how I apply it on my skin. As you can see, I do have some blemishes. This big old pimple I had is now going away, but it's still pretty big and very red. I have like redness, discoloration, acne scars on my cheeks. So this is my before the foundation, and I definitely like to wear something that gives me pretty decent coverage because I do have the discoloration and stuff in my face. So I'm going to apply the foundation now. I'm just going to mix the two shades together. I use about a half a pump of each one. I just pump it right on the back of my hand. So I like to use my Real Techniques buffing brush. This one here, this is just the brush I've been using for this particular foundation. So I just kind of go like this at the back, on the back of my hand, mix the two colors together. And so I'm just going to do half of my face so you can see one half versus the other. I'll do this half first. I like to start like under my eye area. Let me get my mirror. I probably got a little too much product because I'm used to actually doing both sides at the same time. So let me just kind of wipe some of that off. So I like to start under the eye and just kind of work my way down and do like circular motions kind of to buff it in. So the foundation blends really, really nicely. I like the way it blends for sure. So I just blend it down my neck. And I might get a tad bit more and just apply it over the blemish right there. Okay, so now I have one side with foundation and the other side with no foundation. As you can see, it really evened out my skin tone. It took away all the redness. It looks flawless. I love the finish of it. I would say it's pretty matte. There's no really dewiness to it at all. Now I'm going to do the other side of my face. So I have the foundation all over my face. I love the way it looks. It looks flawless, even skin tone, no more discoloration. It covered up the redness. It just looks really nice and flawless and mattifying. So I'm gonna put the rest of my makeup on. I'm actually gonna do a tutorial for the look today, and I'm gonna come back I'm gonna run some errands. So I'm gonna come back later in the day and I'm gonna show you the lasting power. So I'm not gonna set the foundation with a powder just because I wanna show you the true lasting power of it. I forgot to mention what time it was. I just put my eyebrows on right now. They look crazy right now, like bold, but I'm not done. But I just wanted to show you the time. So I applied it probably around 11:20, maybe 11:15, somewhere around there. So just to let you know the time that I applied it, and then I will be back. So it is now 5:05. And it's been a little more than 5 hours since I applied the foundation. I applied it at 11:15 and it's now 5:05, and I've been running errands and doing all kinds of stuff. And I came back home and I had to hurry up and film this because I can't really film after, I don't like to film after 5 because the lighting gets, you know, it starts getting dark early outside, so it starts getting dark around 5:36. So the lighting in the house is terrible. I don't have any good lighting. I always do my videos in front of the window with the natural light, so I couldn't film it later, like at 8 o'clock for you guys, but it has been 5 hours, and the lasting power of the foundation is held up really, really well. I'm not really shiny at all. Might have a little bit of oiliness starting around my nose, but that's it. I haven't touched up with the powder. I didn't even set my foundation with the powder earlier. So as you can see, the lasting power of the foundation is really nice. So I definitely recommend people with oily skin to give it a go, to give it a try. I don't really have any complaints other than it does look cakey if you put too much on. So I definitely only recommend applying 1 layer, not 2. So that's it for the review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I answered all your questions. If you have any other questions, just put them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!